You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Sports Rev giving you the monologue on today. Red should be available at some point. You all know yesterday was his birthday. You fill in the blanks. But nevertheless, we have a great show ahead of you all on today. We'll be talking some NBA. We'll talk a little WNBA. We'll talk about the NFL, as well as the NFL Combine and a little Major League Baseball. We're so glad to have on today Horace from the Sports Roundtable, who's joining us as coach, is not available today, nor is Armani. So even though the whole crew is not here today, we still look forward to having a great time on the Red Rev Sports Show, episode 366. So fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a good ride. as we do the Red Rev Sports Show on today. Let's get to it. Let's rock and roll. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red and Rev Sports Show. I'm coming to you live with Horace from Bankhead from the Sports Roundtable. And we're coming to give you real sports talk because we're real sports fans. We're real sports athletes who have real sports knowledge. So hang out with your boys, Rev and Hope from the Sports Roundtable, and hopefully Red at some point for episode 366. And in substitute of Coach's 366 monologue, Rev is going to step in the gap, as he had to do for Red, and give you something or someone that deals with those numbers. 366. Well, I had to do something real quick because I didn't know I was going to be called on to do the numbers game. And I didn't realize how you got to put some effort into it. But lo and behold, the Lord looked out for me and gave me a good one that probably you didn't see coming, especially from Red. Very rarely do we talk about the NHL on the Red and Rev Sports Show. But when I look at those numbers 3, 6, and 6, I got to give props to one of the best NHL players to ever do it. Pittsburgh Penguins own Mario Lemieux, who won 3 NHL MVPs. I think Coach would be proud. I think Red would be proud because I was able to include 3 Mario Lemieux MVPs with his jersey number 66. So our 366 is Mario Lemieux, 3-time MVP winner, player of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Oh, how did I do with that one?
You did good, but Coach will probably be disappointed with you because you did not include Jerome Bettis, who's one of the Steelers greats, number 36, and obviously Bobby Cox for the Atlanta Braves, who has taken the Braves to great heights. So I think Jerome Bettis and Bobby Cox, 36 and 6. I think we can add to Mario Lemieux, but I think you got to include Jerome Bettis in honor of Coach.
Okay,
So
from that standpoint,
I did my homework as well.
So from that standpoint, you're correct. Now, there's a running joke on the show.
Okay.
And the running joke is Coach is banned from bringing up Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's why Jerome Bettis didn't come to mind, because when we first started doing the numbers game, everything somehow went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So in the spirit of the ban that we have placed on them, that's why I didn't think about Jerome Bettis. But you are correct, and it would have been highly appropriate to do Jerome Bettis today in honor of Coach. So I appreciate you lifting that thought up today on behalf of Coach. And thank you so much for joining me on the Red and Rev Sports Show on today. I believe we'll see a Red sighting at some point, but those of you all who follow him on social media, you know yesterday was his birthday. I'll just leave it right there. God bless you. How you doing, Hope?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. Just another Saturday morning, trying to make it do what it do.
No diggity, no doubt.
Enjoying this weather.
There's some people from the Rev Nation. Go ahead, say that last part again.
I say enjoying this weather down here in the great ATL. Enjoying this beautiful weather is coming, and can't wait till the time spring forward next week.
So it's looking a little like spring in the ATL, and I will say here in PA, it's better than what it has been. So I ain't complaining. We're enjoying 40-degree temperatures. I think we're about to have a cold front tomorrow where the high is only 30-something. But if we can stay away from snow, I'm good with that. So.
Yeah, I got you. I'm looking at the comments. Okay, I did see that Coach is suspended from the jersey numbers, but today we got to lift that for today. If he's going to the hospital, to get some treatment or whatever the reason is, then I say that the exception is due.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Maybe this could lift his spirits.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And we're praying for Coach in a very special way, no doubt. The VP said he's in the building briefly at the Phoenix Airport, ready to head home. We pray for traveling grace and mercy. We can't say that lightly these days. So we are praying for your traveling grace and mercy. He's ready to slam down the gavel to begin another 5 episode of the Red Rev Sports Show. Red Night Nation, rise up and get it done. The president gave the VP the cue, and Mr. President, you got to hold it down while the VP is in the friendly skies. The VP said Jerome Bettis just entered the chat. The president said, I'm especially proud. Hockey got some love. I knew somebody would see what I was seeing today because the president is always trying to push us to talk about sports that are not even sports. But I appreciate Mr. President for recognizing the NHL conversation that took place on today's show. The VP said, Reverend Doctor, inform HO about coaches' restrictions in the numbers game. And of course, you know I had to do what I had to do following the officer's orders. Red said he's having some technical difficulties this morning. We got you.
Hey, you know what the technical difficulty is, right?
If you want to say it, go ahead.
He can't find his phone.
Or the speech to accompany the phone. It might be a little slurred this morning.
He can't find his phone.
The VP said Red Road just made bail. He will be on when his bondsman gets better reception. The president said, let's just say, Red a little blurry out. We got you, Mr. President. What's up, Jerome Case? Glad to have you. And indeed, prayers going up for Coach. So Revenite Nation is obviously in place, ready to give the pot shots when needed. So we're going to move forward, move on, let this train continue to press on and move forward. If you don't mind, please like and share this broadcast. Who knows, your share might lead someone to be a part of Revenite Nation and discover the great sports talk that we do on this particular Facebook page, on this YouTube channel, on Saturdays, at 11 o'clock. So please like and share. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to this YouTube page. With that being said, Hope, we'll start with you, man. This is where we do our dope note cope moments for the week. We dope on our best moment. We nope on what we're shaking our head about this past week. And then also we're coping with some things that we're still trying to process and understand. What's your dope moment for this week, Mr. Hope?
I'm doping on actually a young man out of New Jersey who is playing his senior season with stage 4 cancer. I think his name is Johnny something, but he was sick during the season and found out he had stage 4 cancer, but he refused, and he gets chemo treatment throughout the season and refused to take a break and refused not to play. So he continues to play with stage 4 cancer. I mean, if this doesn't inspire anybody, I don't know what will. So yeah, this I gotta look his name up. I think it's Johnny somebody up in New Jersey. So I'm doping on a young man who has the faith and believe that God has a place for him, and he's continuing to show his godly spirit by continuing to play the sport that he loves. So
no doubt.
For sure.
All right. Appreciate that dope right there.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
I got a dope on this young man from Golden State. Dropped 56 points on February 27th. He's done that not once, not twice, but 3 times. And now some folk are calling February 27th in basketball the official Steph Curry day. So big ups to Steph, doing it once again, dropping 56 in winning fashion on February 27th against the Orlando Magic. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his
All
birthday coming up. Maybe that's an early birthday present.
Hey, and that's a great present to give oneself when it comes to what he just accomplished on that basketball court. Let me go to the note moment. My note moment goes to one guy who some are considering to be the potential face of the NBA going forward. He's the ATL's own Anthony Edwards. Come on, Ant-Man. You cannot get ejected from an important game on national TV against the Lakers and then cost your team another game because you've gotten your 16th technical foul, which in the NBA causes you to be suspended one game. So not only did you cost your team one game when you were on the court by being ejected, you're potentially costing your team another game by not being available for the next game. So, Ant-Man, if you're going to be the face of a franchise, understand one of the most important parts is availability. Matter of fact, someone put it this way: the best ability is availability. And you were not available for your team at the end of the game against the Lakers and for the next game because of your not being able to control your emotions. So that's my note moment, Anthony Edwards.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I like that one.
What are you noping on, sir?
I'm noping on some clown. I have to look at his name, but some clown on ESPN put Jackson. Is it Jackson? The quarterback of Ole Miss. He ranked him higher than Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, hold on now. Jackson Dart, that's his name. Jackson Dart. I'm like, well, I don't even know if they didn't make the playoffs. No, they did not make the playoffs. He's been in school forever. But I'm now wondering if is he getting a check? Now I have to look him up to see what school he went to. Maybe he went to Ole Miss. But there's no way you can rate Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. Just can't happen. I'm sorry. I'm noping on that big time. I'm sorry. I know maybe it's a hot take. Maybe he's trying to get clicks or whatever, but that's not a good way to go about that at all.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. And somebody, you remember that? Red will get a kick out of this. Do you remember that line in the movie Coming to America where Mr. McDowell says to Akeem after he's trying to talk sports to him, son, stay off the drugs.
Yeah, stay off the drugs. Exactly. Yeah, I remember.
That's definitely one of those moments right there, son, stay off the drugs. Now, before we go into our quote moment, I think it's appropriate for me to play this music. As we welcome the birthday boy onto the show, he got his technical difficulties situated. There he is, the birthday boy. Red Rose. Happy birthday to you, sir.
Bro, he found his phone. All right.
We got to give you the Stevie Wonder version, karaoke style. There he is. Reverend Nation.
I like this version.
Show some love for your boy.
I like this version.
Show some love for your boy, Red Rose. What's going on, Red?
Thank you, everybody. Man, it took me a minute. I was technically ignorant this morning. I mean, I guess I got hacked last night. It took me a minute to log in on my phone, my laptop, and my tablet, but I made it. I was trying to be here for you on time, Real, but unfortunately, the technical issues wouldn't allow it. But thank you, everybody. I'm here. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I'm here where I'm supposed to be. I thought about taking a day, but I said, no, can't leave my boy Rev out there by himself. I'm glad he found Hars. Hars, you celebrating last weekend. I'm celebrating this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, man. So while we got you, before we go into the next phase,
for a minute.
now we can hear you. The VP said, welcome the one and only Red Rose. Happy birthday again. And we'll start there.
Thank you, VP.
Like UPS next day air, Red Rose is here by 12. All right, Red, give us your dope moment first. What are you doping on?
You on me, Rev?
Yeah. What are you doping on?
Oh, I'm doping on. I think my dope moment was that behind the back pass from Luka to Austin Reeves this week when he knocked down that 3-point shot. I loved it. That was one of the nice Luka plays, probably his best play since being in a Lakers uniform. So yeah, that was my dope moment for the week. Luka going through the lane, didn't even turn his head, just whoop. Austin Reeves right in the perfect spot, drain the 3. Lakers go up big, Lakers win big. Loved it, Luka.
All right. Let me do this.
Absolutely excellent.
All right, your note moment.
My note moment was probably for the indiscretion the Falcons front office had this week. I mean, just telling the world that they all going defense when we all know you're going to go defense. You better go defense. But you don't have to tell the world all your plans, Falcon fans. You don't have to tell the world we just interviewing defensive players down at the Combine or Senior Bowl. You don't have to tell the world nothing. Why don't you learn your lesson and for once, shut the you-know-what up? How about that, Terry and Raheem? Just shut it up for once, okay? Stop telling everybody your plans, and then you go and do something completely opposite come draft night. So shut up. And besides, I ain't listening to you anyway. I don't know why these Falcon fans wasting time listening to anything Terry and Raheem have to say. Silence until draft night, and you mess up again. Then don't worry, because we ain't going to be silent. we going to be on yo you-know-what. But until then, just keep your plans close to the vest. Jeez.
You have got to be kidding.
All right, since it's your birthday, I'll let you finish it out. What are you coping with?
Now, that was the thing. I didn't even come up with a good coat this week. I guess I got the Braves down here for some reason, so I must be coping with. I guess they think they got enough to win. They better have enough to win, because I ain't taking no excuses from AA this year. I'm tired of y'all pumping AA up like he this great GM, and then we get into the season, and there's all kind of holes, pitching holes, depth holes. All I know, look, it has been 2 years since 21. AA, it's time to win again, okay? I'm not trying to have one of these lulls where we have long 10 years where we win a championship. We got a team that's ready, and I expect to win right now. So I hope you got all your ducks in a row, AA, because if we don't win this year, guess who Red is putting the blame on? I am going to treat you like you Terry Fontenot, baby. I want to win, and I want to win now. Sorry, but we got to win now, Terry. I'm just tired of Dodgers, tired of Yankees. If we had the momentum, let's keep the momentum. Why we got to wait another 10 or 20 years before we win again? So I'm expecting big things from my Braves, and I'm tired of coping with this nonchalantness from Terry. Oh, well, I've got the pitching staff together. I made enough moves. I know what everybody's thinking. I understand it. I know you understand it. You're going to understand us getting your butt to it. We don't win this year. So that's all I got to say for you right now, AA. Don't have me treating you like Terry come the end of the season.
All right.
Man, I get so
Red is coming with fireworks.
Yeah, he came in blazing. Woo.
I don't know why.
All right,
Ho. Bro.
What are you coping with, Ho?
I'm coping with the fact that oh boy, I'm gonna go a different direction. I'm coming with the fact that the Atlanta Hawks will probably have to be in the play-in game again this year,
Yep.
and we will not be able to get into a playoff series because we in these one-game elimination situation, and this is the second or third straight year that we've done this, and then we got to go into the off season trying to figure out, are we going to trust the leadership of the people who make moves? Is Landry Fields going to finally do something that's going to generate us trusting his decision making? So that coping with that is will have me having me a crown apple probably right after the show.
That is funny right there.
Yeah, so I'm just.
All right, I'll finish this segment. I am coping with the fact that the Sixers are just now doing what they should have done like months ago. Sit Joel Embiid down, tank, so you get a better draft pick. You're sick. You have to be in the top 6 in order to keep your draft pick. So having Joel Embiid out there hobbling around, still losing with him, Paul George, and Maxey was not a good look. So I'm coping with the fact that it took them too long to do what they should have done from the very beginning. So Sixers, I'm coping with your decision.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to Revenant Nation, see what they're talking about. We got some comments going on from there, and then we'll begin our first talk when we get some NBA news. All right. Hold on, Miss. All right. Jerome K said like and share, or for Red, it's like and share. The coaches obviously watching. He told the VP, I got you your muskrat. The VP's doping on Alabama women's basketball team, upsetting the Mulkey Warriors, aka LSU Lady Tigers in Tuscaloosa this past week. Mr. VP, I wasn't on the show last week. I just wanted to know, man, are you fully recovered from that whooping that South Carolina took at the hands of Connecticut? I wanted to ask you about it last week. I was concerned about your college women's basketball health after that butt whooping that they took. The president is doping. If you had stock in Luka Doncic, the returns are awesome. The VP said, Brother Page going out with a bang, Steph doing it once again. Dante, what's going on, bro? Johnny Jackson is his name. I just Googled it.
Yeah. Johnny Jackson is the guy I was telling about the stage 4 cancer. Yeah.
Gotcha. Jerome K's doping on Luka getting himself locked in. The VP noping on piggybacking on Rev. Doctors nope. Ant-Man is not ready to take the baton. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Bruh can't even be fitted for it just yet. Bruh needs to sit down and listen to understand and not listen to respond. I like that. Listen to understand and not listen.
On Ant-Man Real, I need to go back and listen to that one.
Yeah, I did, man. Grow up, fam. I'm all on board with that.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why I agree that he shouldn't be the face of the league.
Dante is coping. Goes to Joel Embiid. My cope moment. It might be time to cope with the fact that his career might be over. And guess what? If it's over, it's not going to be over until after 4 years because he's going to limp his way to get those $50 million every year.
He going to get all that money. I mean, they paid him. He going to get it.
Yeah, he ain't retiring until 2029. And guess what? Here's the irony. The way he started his career, which is being on the injured list for 2 years, may be the way he ends his career by being on the injury list for 2 years. That's the irony of all of this.
I can't believe it. I thought this boy was healthy when he finally started playing. The Sixers, they just screwed up big time. They screwed up. Should have never let him play in the Olympics. I mean, it's just a lot of things. If they could go back, I think they would change, at least have a voice about.
No doubt about it. It is depth. All the signings, the Maxey signing to his extension, I think long term will be okay. But the Paul George signing has not paid off. Extending Joel Embiid 3 more years when he's injury prone, that's backfiring as well. Go ahead, Red.
And I say, I just don't understand. What did they magically think you? I mean, you was hurt already. What were you thinking, Maury, when you extended him 3? I can say extending him maybe 1 or 2, but 3 more years? Are you a complete? I don't understand these GMs. Are they complete morons? I'm looking at this kid health. 3 years? Are you kidding me? I wouldn't even extend him 3 years 3 years ago. That's what I'm saying. This kid has been unhealthy, injury prone for the longest. What are you extending anything for? After that first max deal, he would have had to prove it to me that he's worth an extension, and he ain't proved nada.
Amen to that. Can't argue. The VP is coping. I look at you and I see 2 men, the man you are and the man you ought to be. Someday those 2 will meet. Should make it for a hell of a football player. Rest in peace, Coach Jimmy McGinty, a.k.a. Gene Hackman. Condolences to his family. And, Gene Hackman had one of the greatest sports moments in movie history, being the head coach of the team in Hoosiers. And matter of fact, Red, since the 2 worlds, your few 2 worlds collide, and I'm giving you a lot of leeway for your birthday, say what you want to say for a couple of minutes about Gene Hackman and tie it into sports and movies.
Okay, I appreciate that, Rev. Well, like Rev said, definitely Gene Hackman's greatest sports moment had to be in the film Hoosiers. But his greatest film moments, I mean, this guy has been making films for a long time, and I'm gonna mention something else. He was a veteran. He fought for the country too. He was an ex-Marine. So being an ex-Marine, after he served in the war, he went on into taking a few acting classes, did some stage work, and then he got cast in everybody know this movie. If you don't know it, you definitely heard of it, Bonnie and Clyde. So after he took that performance from Bonnie and Clyde and just maintained into some great career roles, the French Connection, I'm sure everybody remember the French Connection, or you heard of it. You definitely heard of that big classic chase through New York City, one of the best car chases in film history. And like I say, plenty of good roles in the 80s. I remember the film No Way Out with Kevin Costner. Of course, my favorite and a few other folks' favorites is Oscar-winning role in Unforgiven. Did great movie with Denzel, Crimson Tide. I think probably even Rev saw. He also had some good moments in Enemy of the State with Will Smith. Like I say, Gene wasn't opposed to do a movie with any of us. He did movies about the civil rights movement in Mississippi Burning. So like I say, he was a veteran actor. He was a diverse actor. His career spanned decades. The roles spanned decades. He was a talented playing good guys, which he did in the early part of his career, and then transitioned successfully into bad guys and villains, which he did in the later part of his career. And I think Hollywood just lost one of its living legends, definitely from the golden age and into the new age. Gene Hackman, 2-time Oscar winner. You will be missed and you will be forever remembered. Rest in peace, buddy. We're going to miss you.
All right. That was a great tribute to Gene Hackman. We know that you are definitely a movie buff and a sports fan. And, we know most weeks you try to force it in there, but this week we had a natural progression for you to put your thoughts where the 2 worlds collide. So glad that you were able to get that opportunity the day after your birthday. All right.
For sure. That was a nice little birthday. I got to talk a little movies on here.
No doubt about it. Before we go to the coach, Vincent Woodrow, the PP said, I'm okay, Reverend Doctor. We licked our wounds after that beat down. You had a lot of licking to do, bro. I don't know if there's enough saliva on that tongue after all the licking y'all had to do. The way UConn beat y'all down at home, but you know, I'm more South Carolina than UConn, that's for sure.
Man,
Jerome Case.
Lost, dude.
Jerome Case, noping on Mr. Glass 3.0. Joel Embiid needing another surgery. Get him out. He's a Sixers fan, so I understand. The president doping on this, although it should have happened a long time ago. Pete Rose will get a pardon in death. Okay. The president says nope on Joel Embiid. He's Greg Oden 2.0. Wow. Wow. All right. The VP says, welcome the one and only. Oh, okay, we already did that one.
Yeah, we did that.
Jerome Case Copin says the sad state of low excitement regarding men's college basketball. I'm not even excited about the upcoming tournament. And that's very true. I had no clue. This is how discontented I am when it comes to men's basketball. I had no idea until recent weeks that the SEC has eclipsed the ACC in basketball. I was listening to Sports Center this morning. They said about 12 teams from the SEC have a legit chance of making the NCAA tournament. And then I'm listening to Duke running away with the ACC and people saying there's not much competition in the ACC. I'm like, wow, days have definitely changed in men's college basketball. Yeah.
So I had the question last week, which is more true? The SEC taking over college basketball or the Big Ten taking over college football?
I would say in mass right now, I would have to lean towards the SEC taking over the ACC in basketball. Here's the reason why. Can we truly say that the takeover has officially taken place when the SEC has won so many titles in football and the Big Ten has only won the last two? But if you go over 20 years, the SEC probably has like 16 of the 20 years. Because the ACC doesn't have all the championships linked towards it as much as in basketball as the SEC has linked to it in college football, is why I would lean more in saying, because really we're talking regular season now and not national championships when we're talking about college basketball. So if we're mainly framing it from a regular season point of view, then I would have to say the SEC is taking over in basketball over the ACC, then Big Ten is taking over in football over the SEC.
Okay, I can roll with that. I also wanted to bring up, so you missed the Alabama-Auburn game in basketball.
In terms of
basketball.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they played a couple of weekends ago, which was a knockdown drag out of a game. And since the Big Ten has won the last two championships, many would think that the powers that be in college football is kind of swaying. But I also raised my hand to say, well, you're getting transfer portal guys from the SEC going to the Big Ten to help you win these championships.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of discrepancies and things of that nature in there, but, you know, it's all preference and it's all case by case, of course. But now the SEC in basketball has to win the championship because it's been quite a while since Kentucky. I think Kentucky was the last team to win one. That was 2012, right?
With Calipari?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Need to put some championships on the board now. They're gonna be
Yeah,
dominating
so-
like this.
Yeah.
Auburn
Yeah.
and Tennessee and Alabama all eliminated when Final Four time come. You can't be dominating that well.
Right. So, and that's why I had to link the discussion to championships versus regular season. Let me go into this. The president said he's coping on, dear Shedeur Sanders, you're not the only player. You're not the player you think you are. There's a difference between confidence and delusion. You're not the number one pick. And we're going to, I changed one of the topics, Red, for 5 for 5. And we're going to deal with that in just a second. The VP said, he said, we licked our wounds. He said something else. Reverend Doctor, we had iodine dripping from the show. No doubt. But for sure. The VP said, Red Rose, I was told this one day by a veteran, once a Marine, always a Marine. There are no ex-Marines.
True. That's true.
Okay.
The VP said, great job, Red Rose, dunking my alley-oop for the great Gene Hackman. Jerome K said, Joel Embiid flopped his way into perpetual injury. The Sixers should have put a no flopping clause in his contract. Can't have a 7-footer, 260-pound player falling on the ground for no good reason, Mr. Glass.
Now, that's a good point, Jerome, because Embiid used to have that old AD thing. You remember how we talk about AD every 5 minutes? Dude, if you're that injury prone, why are you always falling on the ground, jumping, diving, doing all these acrobatic things when you know your health is not that good? Embiid the same way, every 5 minutes, all on the ground, wrestling, jumping. I'm like, dude, if you know your knees and stuff aren't that bad, play like it. Play more carefully. You don't see LeBron running, jumping, diving, doing all these crazy moves that could probably hurt his body at 48. Well, he hurt his rib yesterday, but I'm saying for the most part, most players play carefully. You know what I'm saying? They know their body. They know where they're usually easy to get nicked. Even Red, when you played, you knew your body. You knew what areas you would probably easily to get nicked up more. So you probably protected those a little more. Harsh, you too. Bet you in your football playing days. So I'm saying you have to know your body. Know your body. Know how you can play. I mean, if Joe Embiid, you know your knees are bad. You know your elbows are bad. Your whole body bad. But you jumping all over the floor, getting hurt, pain, ached up for when you know it's just a matter of time before you're out.
Yep. Very, very well said, man. Very well said.
So which one South Carolina fan on here? Is it Vincent?
Yeah, VP. Yeah.
VP. All right, so VP Red. I'm surprised I hadn't heard about the 7th grader at Camp Creek Middle School, Nevaeh Anderson. 7th grader in middle school at Camp Creek scored 48 out of the 50 points as her team lost in the middle school playoffs in the first round. But she scored 48 out of 50 points. So one would say that she's probably already going to get a scholarship offer from South Carolina, UConn, and Tennessee.
Wow.
Yeah. See the deal.
She scored 40-some-odd points in a middle school game?
Listen, they lost 56-50, and she scored 48 points.
God. I know when I played middle school basketball at Ralph Bunch Middle School in Atlanta, the quarters were 6. Have they moved them up to 8 minutes yet?
I'm not sure, but I got a video here that shows in that game, and she sham guard somebody in the corner, and I was like, "Whoa, okay." Yeah, I see Red looking up now. VP probably gonna look up in a minute.
I'll try. Yeah.
She the real deal then, man. That's good. What's that? Good morning, Sister Sylvia Harris. Glad to have you. Jerome said this. I can't understand how UNC gave an extension to Hubert Davis. I can tell you why. I'll be glad to tell you why. They had to give him an extension to secure this great class that I think has been rated number 1 coming to UNC, the class of 2025, 2026, to secure that they will still be coming to North Carolina. And you had to extend them well beyond those players' time or during their time at UNC to let them know, as well as their parents know, that he has job security. So it was kind of, they were caught between a rock and a hard place, where if you don't give them an extension, then you might miss out on these commits actually landing on Chapel Hill's campus. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do to secure your future, even though your present isn't too bright or as bright as you want it to be. All right.
They actually hired a GM for the college basketball team. But I'm not sure if they gonna have a number one class next year, but they are doomed to have better recruits since the GM has come aboard. So they are switching their recruiting strategy. And I was telling Coach that Wednesday, so they can kind of catch up with the way that everybody else is doing. I think they had the Clemson syndrome for a while, so their recruiting was down.
Nostalgia is not going to bring in recruits anymore. Showing the Michael Jordan video when he hit that shot in 1981 or 82, it's not going to bring in recruits anymore. Having the exclusive opportunity to just wear the Jumpman brand in special ways not going to do it. It's all about the money, and you got to change your way. Last comment, if Davis doesn't do anything with them in the next 2 years, the Tar Heel board will just pay that Page brother to sit at home, and another coach will be coming in, probably a pink toe. That will sound about white. Davis, the ball is in your proverbial court, brother. All right.
You're right. 48 points. Middle school, Sandtown, Camp Creek. Yeah. All I can pull up is Instagram.
All right, I'm gonna send you the video, Red. I'm gonna send it to you in message and let you see it.
All right, send it.
I send it to you too, Red.
All right, gentlemen. As we move this show forward, but hey, Hubert Davis, the ceiling is the roof. That was one of the dumbest statements of Michael Jordan's history. But anyway, let's move on. NBA news and notes. Red, we know you're on cloud nine right about now. You came in talking about Luka doing a no look pass. So we'll start with your notes about the Lakers, because they are arguably the hottest team in the NBA right now, especially after the trade. Luka seems to be getting into some type of basketball rhythm after he had been out since Christmas or December when he was with the Dallas Mavericks, and he's finally coming to his own. And the Lakers are playing great basketball. So your thoughts about the Lakers and any other NBA news and notes you have?
Well, definitely. I'm on cloud nine right now. You know, when the Lakers are playing this well, Red is feeling so good, even when the Hawks playing completely crazy, which they are right now. But like you say, Rev, it was a moment that was unexpected. We never expected to have Luke on the team, but now that we have him, we are fully embracing this new change of pace style that we playing right now. But let me say, Rev, even with Luka and LeBron and Austin playing the way that they playing right now, let me give credit to JJ Redick and the coaching staff and the way they have coached our defense up the last month or so of the season, because I think right now, the last month, the Lakers had the number one defense in the NBA, and honestly, they might have the best record too in the last month and a half. So, that being said, offense is fine, but most championship teams have a staple on defense, and now I see what they were talking about all those years when championship teams used to put an emphasis on defense, because the Lakers, they have put an emphasis on defense, and it has helped. I mean, you even got Luka out there playing a little defense. Not much, but just a little bit. That's right, Luka. Just move your feet, get in his way, alter the shot. Just do something out there. We ain't asking you to be all NBA defense. Just do something. Just get in the guy's way. That's all you got to do. Everybody else, we got Vanderbilt and Finney-Smith and Vincent and all of the rough guys do the rough action. But we just need you just get in his way. Even LeBron has stepped his defense up. I give him credit. Austin is Austin. And Rev, Horace, it just been a good fit. I mean, people were saying how are LeBron and Luka gonna play with each other? Well, I give LeBron credit. I mean, the dude that has all around game. So if he has to play off the ball, he can play off the ball. Folks act like LeBron just got to have the ball in his hand 24/7. No, that's Luka. Luka got to have the ball in his hand 24/7. So LeBron can definitely play off the ball. That's no problem. Luka, we don't mind you running the offense. That's no problem. Watch your turnovers though. But I like how this team is put together. Finally, I give Rob Pelinka. We question you sometimes, but when you make the big moves, you make the big moves. So I give Rob Pelinka credit for putting a nice little team together. I give JJ credit for coaching us up. I mean, I ain't biased, JJ. I know you got Nate McMillan and Scotty Brooks on your bench over there, so I know they probably helping you with your defense. But overall, Rev, it's just a good time in Laker land. We playing championship ball, and Laker Nation and myself, we love it. Keep it up. Because like I told you, when Boston won their 18th ring, I said, all right, Lakers, we got to do something. We can't let them get that far ahead of us, and do something they have. And now we are a championship contender this year. While Boston, if y'all think Boston doing anything this year, y'all are crazy. I am taking Cleveland out the East. And come on, Hawks, can you get back in the flow of things? You were doing so well to that 8-game losing streak. And now Horace will probably tell y'all just look completely disoriented right now. So I wish my Hawks can get back in the flow of things. But Rev, I don't buy Boston coming out the East at all. I'll take New York. I'll take Cleveland. I'll take a sleeper team like Indy. Anybody but Boston. But other than that, I like the way my Lakers are playing. We're doing pretty good. I can't wait to hear everybody else's thoughts on it.
Let me jump in right here with these comments. Luka never expected to be on the Lakers. Laugh out loud, Jerome Case. Sister Sylvia Harris, aka my mother. Luka, the King, and Reeves are looking awesome. I'm gonna say this before I'm gonna say this before I pitch it over to Ho to give his NBA news and notes. I will say, finally, live and in living color, we now have the justification for J.J. Redick being the head coach of the Lakers. Because the job that he's done, and Red, you alluded to the defensive job, he has them playing like a zone, NBA-type zone defense. It's not a lot of man-to-man, because if that were the case, Luka would be getting destroyed. So the defensive scheme that he has designed is where basically the players guard the guy in such a way where they're guarding them into their help. So you constantly see them rotating, being in position to play help defense. Mm-hmm. And therefore, they're daring teams to beat them with the three. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they make the adjustments when they play like the Steph Currys of the world. But what I think I see them doing is they play man up on a person who can shoot the ball behind three. And then they are conditioned to drop back on guys who don't shoot the three as well. And that's what they did a little bit against the Denver Nuggets, where they played up on Jamal Murray, but on other players like Aaron Gordon, who they didn't really respect their three-point prowess, they're dropping off a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how long that defensive scheme will work. But J.J. Redick is showing that he definitely has a high basketball IQ. And Luka nor LeBron at his age are getting exploited by these younger guys who are more explosive. Hold your thoughts that you have when it comes to NBA news and notes.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with the Lakers. And I'll be the first to tell you that I thought Luka wasn't going to be Luka at first, because this is the first time that he would actually have to kind of blend in. Most of the time, most of his career, people was blending in with him. Now he has to blend in with another team. So I didn't think you was going to get the 30-point scoring Luka in Los Angeles. So I guess JJ Redick, from the rumor that I hear, got Dwayne Wade to call LeBron and say, listen, if you want to extend your career a couple of more years, get off the ball, do exactly what I did for you in Miami, get off the ball, extend your career, keep your body in shape, and let's see how you do off the ball, and let Luka feed you and feed everybody else. So I you got to give JJ credit for doing that, and I think Rev, you did the defense. You broke down the defense exactly the way that it's going. So I have to commend JJ and LeBron for, take your ego out of it and get off the ball. I know you probably best on the ball, but get off the ball and let other people see you play off the ball, because a lot of people didn't think you could play off the ball. So let other people see you play off the ball and extend your career. Now I'm gonna jump to the NBA and the way that they're trying to define the face of the league. Anthony Edwards, he's too brash, he's too this, he stays in the trouble, he curses too much. He got baby mama drama. He got all these different things going against him. Ja Morant, you can't be the face of the league because you carry guns. You like to be on IG. You hadn't grown up enough. And then you get a guy like Jason Tatum, who is now married, one of the best players in the league. He finally has a title, and he's super clean. He's not, and you say he don't talk enough, he's not brash enough. I mean, well, what do you want? What do you want? Who do you want? If you're too clean, you're not, you can't do it. And if you're too brash, you definitely can't do it. So I'm not sure what the NBA is looking for as far as the face of the league. I will agree the face of the league needs to be an American-born player, but it looks like all of our American-born players are either one or the other, so that's going to cancel them out. So I'm not sure what it's going to take. Maybe Jason Tatum needs to get another ring, but with the way that I'm seeing Cleveland play, they're starting to gain my confidence as far as a title contender. A couple of weeks ago, I was like, I'm not sure I trust them yet, but the way that they played against Boston and the way that they've been playing lately, I would say, yeah, they're starting to gain some confidence in me. So look out for Cleveland. And let's figure out who can be the face of the league, American born.
All right, man, that's good information. I'm going to put a couple comments before I share my comments. So Sylvia Edward is too immature. Right now, the King is still the face of the league. The sports shows are still talking about him every day, and you must note that's her favorite player. All right. I'm gonna play off some of the stuff that host shared. You talked about what was the last thing you talked about? I'm sorry.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cavaliers, yeah. I'm still not sold on Cleveland for some reason. I'm not sold on Donovan Mitchell being a star that can be the star to carry the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think the NBA respects him as that star yet.
Yeah, that's why I say my confidence is getting high. I never said I was sold on him. My confidence is getting high.
Well, as yours are getting higher, pray for mine. Because mine is not getting as high. And I know Red, I don't know if he really believes what he said or he just got that much hate for the Boston Celtics. Because, I know hate comes into the equation when it comes to some of Red's decisions.
Half.
So that's my concern. I think they are better with DeAndre Hunter. That was a great pickup because he can defend guys on the perimeter. And, so I can't deny that they're better. I just don't know when it comes to a 7-game series if Donovan Mitchell can propel them to beat a Boston in a 7-game series, and even the Milwaukee Bucks in a 7-game series. So that's my. If this were the NCAA tournament style, I would go with Cleveland. I could see them winning a game, but 7-game series, that's where I struggle. With the whole face piece, here's the problem I have with Jason Tatum. He's not charismatic. He would be ideal because the women love him. I know some older women who getting weak in their knees when they look at him, right? So he got the look for sure. The problem is he's not very charismatic. He's not that lightning rod that you want as a face of the league. And then also what hurt him is you got the championship, but you weren't the MVP.
Nope.
That hurt. See, like some folk might say, well, Steph did initially win an MVP, but Steph changed the league, the way the league played. Good, bad, or indifferent. Everybody started modeling their style of play after the Golden State Warriors and try to shoot like Steph, all these threes. So Steph's impact on the game was there even without winning the MVP, his first championship and second and third championship. He didn't win the MVP in the finals until the fourth championship. But Jason Tatum did not do himself any favors when he had to be second fiddle on his own team with Jaylen Brown. So that's kind of the thing that I would say about that. And
well, let me rebut that real quick, just to give you some thoughts. First of all, the NBA was probably trying to apologize to Jaylen Brown for all of the not making the Olympics and the shoe deals and stuff like that with Nike, because Jason Tatum led their team in every category. So he didn't win MVP based on what the voters said. But if you look and if you ask anybody on that team who was the MVP, he was hitting open shot. He led the team in assists, steals, and rebounds and points. But, that goes overshadowed.
Now, but I think he may have had the stats. I think Jaylen Brown had the key moments. That's where the MVP was won. Because it wasn't Jason Tatum's stats just overwhelmed Jaylen Brown's stats. I think when you look at those games that were close, Jaylen Brown had the moments. And when you have to choose an MVP, stats are typically number one. Moments also come into play as well. And Jason Tatum shrunk when it was time to have those key moments. And that's why I think Jaylen Brown actually got the nod over Jason Tatum. And I think Jason Tatum overall is a much better player than Jaylen Brown. I think sometimes Jason Tatum is too cool for school. And he does not just overwhelmingly put the team on his back to say, I'm the man. And maybe when he tried to do that before, that's when he and Jaylen Brown clashed. So maybe just to make peace, he doesn't try to be that alpha guy on the team. Who knows? But nevertheless, we got some comments. Antonio Henderson said Jason Tatum got one of the finest women in the game. All right. Coach said Jason Tatum is too vanilla for the league. The VP said Tatum had the look, just doesn't have the bravado to be that dude in the NBA. I got to agree with that. Jerome K says Harris is on point. Even Jason was surprised when the finals MVP was announced. I don't think he might have been surprised because maybe he felt entitled, but it was not clear cut that he was supposed to be the MVP. Come on now. I mean, a lot of people. Go ahead.
You have to think about it like this. You had this thing about the culture of basketball. You had the cornrows, you put that out. You had the dress codes, you put that out. And then you get a guy who was actually raised by a single mother, raised clean, not getting in trouble and things of that nature, but he's being vilified for being a clean-cut guy who don't get in trouble and is just doing his thing and but just because he's not brass and bravado, he's being picked on for that. So that goes against him. I mean, where are we in society when you don't get in trouble, you're not off the court having babies here and there, you taking care of your son? I mean, I can go on and on about that, but
let me stop you right there. Let me ask you a question. Who would you say?
Coach Tripp.
Who?
Oh Lord, let me see.
Tatum went to do boo. All right, here's my question. Who would you say in the past? How old are you, Ho, if you don't mind me asking?
53. Just turned 53 last week.
All right, and I wasn't here to wish you happy birthday. Happy birthday, man. May God continue to bless you with many more years of life, health, and strength. Same to you, Red. I didn't say that point to you as well.
I put my character up in the chat.
All right, I'll wave at it. No. Let me ask you this question. In the past, let's say since 2000, we know Michael Jordan was the face in the 90s. Who would you say have been all the faces of the NBA from 20 in the 21st century?
LeBron James, Steph Curry.
I knew
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Okay. Yeah. If you didn't say that, Red was going to have a conniption on there.
Well, I'm about to go crazy.
Yeah, I was just going back. Kobe. I mean, I was thinking about the people that are actually still here, but RIP.
So Kobe, LeBron, Steph. All of them great players. All of them great players. All of them in their own way are charismatic. All of them do well with the media. Besides Kobe's one indiscretion in Colorado, overall, they were viewed as good dudes. All right. So the thing that I would say is Jason Tatum reminds me more of Kevin Durant, one who's not great with the media, than he can relate to being like Steph, LeBron, and Kobe. Part of being the face is the media piece. And see, with social media being very much into play, it works even more against Jason Tatum because people can see you more on TikTok, what was formerly Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And when you don't have, as the VP said, the bravado, it's like, do you want to see a 30-minute discussion with Jason Tatum by himself? What? If they did a 60-minute special on Jason Tatum, is that must-see TV? Do you really want to hear him talk about his life? Compelling story, great mother figure, raised him well, very successful, but it would be a snooze fest. Like I in the spirit of Coach, I would rather see a documentary on dirt than listen to Jason Tatum for 30 minutes or 6 minutes. So I think it's not his game. It's the lack of bravado, charisma that's hurting Jason Tatum. And I think that's what's keeping him from being the face. As Coach said, he's very vanilla.
But he's a North Carolina fan, so what is he?
Well, I mean, outside, I think Coach could be objective when he says he's vanilla. I know Coach doesn't like the fact that he went to Duke. I get that. But everyone can see And that's why I asked you, who would you say are the faces?
Well, let me ask you
When
this.
you talk Kobe, very charismatic. When you talk LeBron, polarizing figure, charismatic. Steph is not as vibrant, but the way he parses his words, the way he works with the media, the way he knows how to uplift play, the way he knows how to be in control of the media, because they try to push him in the corners, and he's so finesse with it, where he winds up saying what he wants to say rather than what the media wants him to say.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And then here's the other piece. Here's the other piece. You mentioned Kobe, LeBron, Steph. They are all box office. You're paying 2 times or even 3 times the amount of what's on the ticket to go see them play. Are you doing that for Jason Tatum?
Well, the first thing you saying is that he went to Duke. That's gonna be the first. That's gonna be the first hate, because you don't want to see Duke players extend to that. To that.
Well, that's not totally true, Horace. That's not totally true, because here's one that everybody was waiting for. Do you remember that guy named Grant Hill?
Yeah, I do.
How about that guy named Zion Williams?
Yeah. I mean, Grant Hill, I would say more than Zion, because Zion is always injury prone. But Grant Hill, they were expecting him to be on Jordan's level, but injuries forced him.
Yeah.
So I can't just say it's about Duke, because once you get in the league, if they love you, they love you, regardless of where you go to school. In college, it's more about the rivalries. In the pros, it's about where you can make money and who you making money for. So
yeah, if Cooper Flag come in next year, I give him props. If he good and he got a charismatic person.
But what the San Antonio Spurs did was everybody running to see them boring basketball team play, or was it just looked at as they have a fundamental team, they play team basketball, but it was boring. But
they would look at it as a big ticket.
Red, let me interject.
I'm just
okay.
Harsh, you just proved my point. Here's how you prove my point. What name did you not say was one of the faces of the league, but yet he won multiple championships from the Spurs?
Tim Duncan.
There you go. You didn't mention him as a face of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Champion, arguably one of the best power forwards to ever play the game, but you did not mention him as a face of the league. And we know you would rather watch paint dry on the wall than to hear Tim Duncan talk for 30, 60 minutes. That there's the charisma piece that has to come into play.
But you also heard me say the NBA has not identified who they wanted to be, because if you too brash, you too brash. If you too clean, you too clean. So what is the balance in the middle?
Does the NBA identify who's the face, or do the fans identify who the face is?
Well, the NBA does about the narrative, and obviously you starting to see Ant-Man in more commercials than you've ever seen before. So that's
well. Here's part of the issue. Here's part of the issue. We can't deny the fact that most of the corporate dollars are from white people. That's the reality. Nike's owned by a white man. Most of the sponsors that are sponsoring NBA teams, like every team that has that little patch, I'm sure a white person is funding, or the CEO of that particular company. So we have to realize, to be the face of an organization that is dominated by white dollars, there has to be some point of connectivity with the white population. And unfortunately, Ant-Man doesn't do it. You're not doing yourself favors when you're getting ejected in a big nationally televised game. Like, who is the player that we know of in a game of the magnitude that Ant-Man played? Like, Ant-Man had more incentive not to get ejected. This is my time to shine. I got not one iconic figure playing I'm against. I'm going against an international figure. So if I bust LeBron and Luka, who's an international phenomenon just like LeBron, if I do something in crunch time, I'm not just going to be nationwide, I'm going to be worldwide. Like being the face of the league also involves having common sense, wisdom, vision. And sometimes Ant-Man brings an Atlanta mindset to the table and not a global vision. That's the problem I have with Ant-Man.
He definitely got the Atlanta behavior down. Oh,
yeah, I mean, it's cool. Be you, bro. Be you. Yeah. I ain't telling Ant-Man not to be him.
The exact opposite from Jason Tatum, right? The exact same opposite from Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
So in all of my arguments, we are talking about the things that they do that's not appeasing to others, and not what they actually do to that has gotten them to the point of where they are even being considered.
Well, I don't think
you gotta be. See, now we gotta understand. Remember, the game is now global, right?
Yeah. So
let's remember, the urban context is not flooding Europe. Let's remember that. The urban context is not flooding China. So this is where when we say the face of a league, we're talking about the face of a global league.
Mm-hmm.
Because the NBA had more global reach than the NFL.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And the NFL is moving in that direction. But the NBA has been far and beyond global than the NFL for a decade now. Like, they started back in the 90s. All right. So this is also has to be included in this conversation about face. We're not talking about the face of urban America. We're talking about the face of America plus the world.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear Ant-Man in China. I don't want to hear Jason Tatum being very vanilla in Europe. Like, I'm not motivated to go see Jason Tatum if they say, hey, the Boston Celtics are going to play one of their games in Barcelona. I may go because it's the game of basketball, which we don't have on the NBA level, but I'm not paying extra money just to see Jason Tatum. And Americans, let's be honest, I can go on this app right now and look at the ticket prices for a Boston Celtics game, and it's because of the rivalry and the brand Boston more than it is Jason Tatum. Go ahead, Rev.
Yeah. And Rev, I see the point that you're making now, and I have to agree because being worldwide, a worldwide known athlete does help your brand. If you think about it, Jordan is known all over the world. Jordan brand goes worldwide. Shoes, the reputation, all of what goes with Jordan brand is known all over the nation. LeBron, he's known all over the world, all over the nation, Olympics style. He is the man. And I think back to that scene in here we go. I'm throwing another movie reference in, but it's trivial to the point that you're making. I'm thinking back to that scene in Rush Hour 2 where Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan were chasing the bad guys through Hong Kong, and the Asian lady runs into Chris Tucker, and what's the name she calls him? Well, who does she think he is? She says, "Get out of here, Kobe." All the way in Asia. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm saying he's known, his brand stretched that far. LeBron's brand stretched that far. Steph Curry, Michael Jordan brand stretches far overseas, in America, overseas, little kids all over trying to be those guys. Like you say, ain't no little kids in China trying to be, Ant-Man. Ain't no little kids in Australia or somewhere trying to be Jason Tatum. Whatnot. Like you say, you got to have a universal brand to be the face of the league. And those players that we mentioned, the Kobe's and the Jordans and LeBrons, they're universal. No matter whether we like it or not, those players, Steph Curry, they're universal. The Tatums, even the Jokic. Jokic is known in his country, but you have a problem having too many. How many Americans are just dropping money to go see Nikola Jokic play?
And the other problem with the Ant-Mans and the Tatums, we can't even say they're the best player in the league. Like we can say unequivocally, whatever how you say it. I'm tongue-tied with that word. But we could say Jordan in his era. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Jordan in his era was the best player. People will argue Kobe at one point was the best player in his prime. LeBron was the best player. We can't say Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum are better than Jokic. We can't even say they're better than the Greek Freak.
Or LeBron.
Yeah, and the reality is those players like Greek Freak, Jokic, Luka, Dallas Luka, they can't be the face because the NBA is mainly an NBA brand. But if they were Americans, they would be the faces.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least Greek Freak would, because Jokic don't have much personality. Luka doesn't have much personality. But Greek Freak got enough personality where he would be the face.
Yeah,
so that's why that charisma piece is important. But they got to evolve to be the best players in the league. And right now, they're not.
Now, Horace, let me tell you something. If our Hawks were playing a little bit better or more consistently, Trae Young would have a chance because he's a charismatic figure, but the Hawks are just so sorry and inconsistent. Trae Young ain't got a shot right now because you got to at least have your team up there winning consistently. But I'm just speaking for Trae Young's personality. He does have a personality, and it's not boring. I mean, and Rev, you would probably pay a little money to go see Trae Young play. I'm not saying you personally, but there are NBA fans. They'll probably dish out a few bucks to go see Trae Young play some ball because I think Trae Young, I'm not saying his teammates, but Trae Young with the assists, the scoring, the kind of rebellious personality sometimes. I think he has a little brand somewhat. But
I think the problem with Trae Young is he hasn't done enough winning on a high level.
That's
and until that accompanies his stats, then we won't see much. Let me go to these comments and then we're gonna do halftime real quick. And if we want to revisit some more on the other side, we can. Jerome Face says faces of the NBA never really got ejected. VP says Ant-Man still doesn't understand the assignment. Jerome Case, Ant-Man is too darn hood, and it's intentional. This is why Iverson would have never been the face of the NBA. And that's a great analogy. I have to give you credit right there because Iverson chose to be urban, which is his right.
Let's call it.
That's why he was never. And Iverson had a chance to be the face because the NBA was waiting for somebody to take the mantle from Jordan. Because Iverson, his career had advanced more at first than Kobe's. Because while Kobe was sitting on the bench, Iverson was winning Rookie of the Year. So Iverson had
I know you enjoy throwing that shot out there.
Well, the shot happens to be laced with truth too, though. so we can't deny the facts. All right. I know that hurt your heart when I said it like that, but it wasn't laced with hate. It was laced with facts.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He was on the bench at that time. So
he was on the bench on that time, shooting up an air ball just to get people noticed in the playoffs at that time. That was the conversation we were having about Kobe. At least he had the courage to take the shot, even though it was an air ball. That's what the commentary was. The VP said Ant-Man in China sounds like a new Marvel movie. The VP said the moment Tatum's presence transcends the Boston brand, we can revisit this combo. That's fair.
Yeah.
Like Bird's presence superseded Boston's brand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's just like and you know what Jason Tatum reminds me of? Even though this guy has a little bit more personality, Paul Pierce. Like Paul Pierce never transcended the Boston brand, but he's a Boston great.
Yeah,
Jason
he got
Tatum,
more personality now than he did when he was playing.
When he played the game, yeah, for sure. Like that's where Jason Tatum, he's more Paul Pierce than he is Larry Bird. Is that fair?
I give Paul Pierce, like you say, Paul Pierce had a little bit more personality. I give Pierce a little bit more personality than Jason Tatum.
But we never looked at him as the face of the league, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's where I see Tatum being more of a Paul Pierce than a Larry Bird, because Larry Bird was the face of the league for a minute.
Now, to be fair, he's not in a urban city that promotes that. You know, I mean, he's in a town where they lynched Bill Russell, they ran Jim Rice out of town, point blank, period. So
it's a racist town.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm trying to be politically correct. Now, if Jason Tatum is in LA or New York or Philly, could he be the face of the league then?
Not with his same personality.
But you think his personality wouldn't change if he went to a different?
I think Jason Tatum is who he is. He's mild-mannered. That's who he is. You know, a man of few words. But I don't think if he went to Detroit, Philadelphia, Atlanta, all of a sudden he's gonna be lit.
No, not saying that. The promotion would be different, is what I'm saying.
I see. That's hard to say because let's look at it. Do we think there are more urban people in Boston than Minneapolis?
It's more urban in Boston than Minneapolis.
Exactly. So Ant-Man getting more push. He getting pushed in Minnesota.
The urban in Boston is Euro. There's more white guys. They the hoods in Boston and whatnot. You see what I'm saying?
Well, they got a black hood too there. They got
but New York needs something. There's no way that if Jason Tatum was in a Knicks uniform, that he wouldn't be the face of the league. As bad as they're trying to attach to something.
I don't know.
I'll say if he was in New York, he would have a greater chance. I cannot deny that fact because Jalen Brunson is getting way more pub because he's wearing a Knicks uniform. So I'll concede that there. I would say I don't know if he would be the face of the league, but he would be strongly considered. I will concede that point. And New York is the only place.
You got to be out there talking like LeBron and stuff. And Jason Tatum, he just not out there like that. See, me and Red, we looking more for personality. The way wherever he playing at, he just not out there like LeBron or Ant-Man or Kobe or Steph. He don't even have that many commercials. Like I say, we don't even see you on commercial. I think the one commercial he had was that potato chip commercial with Barkley. I mean, I think
he got several, but the problem is in those commercials, he's a man of few words.
Right. He ain't even stand up in his commercials. I don't even know when he started talking, I wouldn't even know it was him.
In the potato chip commercial, they got him eating a chip and just saying one word, like 2 words. It's like, come on, man. Like we don't have you because you're a man of many words. We have you because of your where your market is, you're a champion, so forth. So let me go on. Let's get to the upside. Jerome said Giannis is in a lot of commercials because of his charismatic personality. He'd be perfect. VP said LiAngelo Ball was talked about more during All-Star Weekend than Tatum was. Jerome Case Paul didn't have the look either. He looked like someone whose uniform never fit. The president said maybe Ant-Man should try China. Stephon Marbury became a basketball guy. Did that? He did. VP says Tatum is basically Clark Kent. He can play like Superman, but Lewis will always see him as Clark. All right, that's good. Case says get Tatum to LA, New York, or Atlanta. He'd be pushed for the face. I would definitely say I wouldn't say Atlanta, but I would definitely say he has a better chance than New York and LA, no doubt about it. Let's pause right here, gentlemen, and if we want to revisit it, we can on the other side. It's halftime. We have some WNBA a little bit, a little football, a little bit more basketball. So we'll be back in just a moment. Hopefully you enjoyed the first half of the Red Rev Sports Show. We'll be right back. And we are back on the Red and Rev Sports Show for the second half of the Red and Rev Sports Show. His Horace had to leave for a quick moment. I'm sure he'll be back in just a second. We had some very spirited conversation, and sometimes the conversation will lead us into directions we weren't initially planning. But we had a lot of conversation about the face of the NBA. All right. Red, real quickly, I'm going to give you a moment. Hold back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Let's take about 6-7 minutes, if you want to talk about the Atlanta Braves. I know there was a conversation about the Atlanta Braves. Do they have the best outfield? But let's just talk about your thoughts about the Braves so far when it comes to what you're hearing, what you're seeing from spring training.
Okay.
So I'll let you go first, and then Ho, if you want to join in, feel free.
I will.
Go ahead, man.
All right. Well, what I'm seeing, some good things finally, because boy, we started off looking pretty bad. I mean, I ain't think we could hit the ball out of the infield. That offense was so shaky. But I think within the last 3 or 4 games, our offense has been picking up. Pitching still a little inconsistent, but the offense, the bats have been picking up. I think yesterday we beat the Marlins 7-2. I think we won a nail biter to the game before. I think it was like 4-2, 4-3. But the pitching is getting a little bit better. The bats getting a little bit better. This Dylan Dodd, oh Lord, I am so done with him. Please, no more Dylan Dodd. I'm done. Trade him. Can't help us out. Ian Anderson, way to bounce back from your first start. You look pretty shaky in the first start. You did okay yesterday. Schillenbach is doing nice. Sales doing nice. All our starters. Lopez had a good outing. His first time out. So the starters are okay. It's probably the middle of relief and the bullpen that's probably that we probably need the most work, but it's coming on. Spencer Strider, I'm hearing his health is improving day by day, so he should be ready earlier than expected, because boy, do we need him. I keep forgetting he's on the staff. See, when I look at the rotation, I see Sale, Lopez, Schulenbach, and then one more other guy, and I keep forgetting Strider is part of it. If Strider comes back and healthy, okay, now we got something. As long as all the other pitchers stay healthy, we got a rotation of Strider, Sale, Lopez, and Schulenbach. I'm good. I'm good with that. Plus our back. Yeah, Grant Holmes. That's right. That's the fifth guy I can remember. And Grant Holmes doing. I need to check out his back. What he doing, Pars?
I said, I got your back.
Oh, I know you got me. So Grant Holmes, if all five of those, put like this, if Grant Holmes is our worst pitcher, Braves doing pretty good. Yeah, Grant Holmes is our worst pitcher. So the bats, me and Hars expect, and Rev too, we expect our bats to be on point more so. Like I did mention, the Braves got the best outfield when healthy. Yeah, when healthy. Ron Acuna, Mike Jr. Harris, and Jurgensen Profar. Oh yeah, boy, you won't find too many outfields that match the production and speed and defense of those guys. So if healthy, you better believe our defense in the outfield should be on point. Definitely got one of the best infields with Austin and Olsen on the corners, and Ozzy and Arcia defensively up the middle. I ain't talking about Arcia's bat now. I'm just talking about his defense. But like I say, overall, I expect another championship contending season from my Braves, and what I'm seeing in spring training has not deterred me at all.
Been there.
Oh yeah, the Atlanta Braves. I'm expecting the pitching. I'm expecting Ian Anderson to come back strong. I expect a strong outing from Grant Holmes, Lopez, and Sales and Spencer Schwarzenbach to continue their force. I'm looking forward to Matt Olson and Austin Riley bouncing back and both hitting 40 home runs. If we can get that going, then we definitely be in the business. Now, if Sean Murphy can't cut it, Drake Baldwin, come on up, buddy, because I know you can hit the ball, and I know you can have some defense. So, if the pitching is failing us in the first part of the year, I say let's get off of Sean Murphy and let's go get us another starting pitcher, because if Sean Murphy can't come over and do what he needs to do to maintain that number one catcher spot, then we need to get rid of him.
Who you say in the mind? We got a guy in the mind called Drake Ball.
Drake Baldwin is the business. He is the business. Pull him up.
Bring him up now. Yeah,
he's having a good spring. He's having a great spring training right now.
Yeah, he's
Tom Murphy is having a terrible one at the bat right now.
Yeah, so like I said,
Murphy, you better watch. You better look over your shoulder, buddy, because we don't hesitate.
Drake Baldwin is the one you got to keep your eyes on. He gonna start off in AAA, but if things start to look a little shaky, he'll be up in Cobb County here pretty soon. So
hard. Before you move on, do you think he's gonna beat out Trump?
I don't think I think Trump has the experience, but I think Drake Baldwin is the future.
Okay.
I think Baldwin is the future, and they're gonna leave him in AAA so he can get as many at bats as he needs to get.
From what you've seen of him, do you think he has a higher ceiling than Sean Murphy?
Yeah, because he's younger and they can groom him.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Braves farm system, for whatever reason, they kind of groom these guys in the Braves way, and when they come up, they come up smoking.
Okay.
Now I will say this.
I ain't expecting too much from Trump.
Yeah, Trump is a defensive catcher.
He's a very good defensive guy.
Yeah,
he knows people out left and right. Yeah.
But now I also want to talk about Nacho as well. I think he left the game with an injury here a couple of days ago. So if he can be the prospect that we all thought he should and can be, then let's look out for Nacho and Drake coming up and making some noise to try to help us, get to that top of the level.
Question for you, Hars.
I keep forgetting about Nacho.
Question for you, Hars.
Mm-hmm.
If Nacho makes the big league team, is RC on the bench?
Ooh. That's a good question. I think Arcia defensively is better. Nacho is better offensively. So I think that depending on if Nacho defense, because I think right now he's playing third, but if he comes up and he shows a great defensive prowess, then Arcia could not only be on the bench, but can be off the team.
Okay.
They're going to trade him. You out of here, RCU.
All right.
I mean, we got him for
we better be lucky that Nacho got injured. Because if Nacho, I think Rev Nacho was showing out in spring training, I think Arcia will probably be more worried early on than that. But if you say he injured right now, then Arcia got a little breathing room. Arcia better start the season off with his bat on fire. That's the one guy who needs to start the season off hot.
Got you. All right, man. Let's move on this train. Get into our 5 for 5. We got 5 hot topics where the gentlemen get to speak on the individual screen for 45 seconds. Then they got 15 seconds group shot. And then if they go over a minute, we mute them. And then Reverend Nation, if you have any comments that you want to add, feel free to do so while the gentlemen are talking. I don't know if the VP is still around, but normally he would say cue Lunitz at this time, and I'm going to be obedient to what the VP normally says as we cue Lunitz. Man, when you going to be in the air, man? I thought you only be here shortly. There he goes, cue the Lunitz. So it's been done. All right, gentlemen. Since we were talking face of the league, let's start with it. LeBron James sounds off where he was talking about Ant-Man. And if he's indeed the face of the league, and Ant-Man said he wants no part of it, and LeBron James basically says with all the scrutiny that the face of the league gets, it's not even really worth it for Ant-Man to want it. Your thoughts on it? Go, Red.
It's just a little more whining from LeBron after the game because they were getting on him for the All-Star game. LeBron, you ain't fooling me. They're just you pushing back because you got criticized because you missed the All-Star game. So now you had a chance to take your shot and you did it. This all it was. It don't mean nothing. Don't mean a hill of beans. I'm not taking it serious. I'll let the LeBron fans analyze and dissect it because that's what they do. They sit back and listen to LeBron crying and dissect what it all means. It just more LeBron talk after the game. You just better be glad we got this win. If we win, you can complain all you want to. If we lose, then I'll probably have more to say about this. But we won, so cry all you want to after the game, LeBron. Just show up doing the game.
Harsh.
Yeah, this was the person who definitely understands criticism when it comes to the face of the league. So yeah, he would know firsthand on how that comes. But the face of the league, you got to take the good with the bad. So whoever it is, you got to take the good with the bad. So Ant-Man, you can't control the consequences. If you're going to take the greatness, you're going to take the contract extension, and you're going to take all these other accolades that come with it, then you're going to have to take everything that comes with that, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. So I would say tighten up on your off-the-court situations with an S. Find you a role model. Find you a role model that can help you get through this. And I think once we have that going, I think we'll be in a better place.
All right. VP said flight delay, praying for your flight to get out of there and you be safe. One thing I'll add before we go to the next topic, LeBron, of all people, shouldn't be saying anything about the criticism because the face of the league allowed his little boy to get into the NBA.
You go real. See, yeah. Appreciate you, Rev, for being. That's why I like Rev. At least you can be honest about LeBron. Where some of the fans like Taurus and all the other fans be still crying. Oh my God. Will y'all stop crying? Be like Rev. At least Rev can be honest about some of LeBron's things.
Yeah. I mean, you can't cry face league stuff. And then we know that your son is in the NBA only because you're the face league. So we'll be there.
And
Man,
if you can't get a roster spot because it's Bron on the team, we're gonna blame you, Bron, because Brandon shouldn't even be on the team, shouldn't even have a roster spot. We're trying to win championship right now.
And he will not find himself playing any meaningful minutes in any meaningful games in the playoffs.
With that, sitting on the bench riding it half the time,
waiting for his dad's next big play. Moving on. Diana Taurasi, former UConn legend, multiple WNBA champion for the Phoenix Mercury, has finally hung up her basketball shoes after 2 decades of stellar basketball play. Your thoughts on Diana? Oh, go. Oops, wrong person.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that it don't look like who I am, but Diana, 6 Olympic gold medals, 3 World Cup medals. I mean, she is one of the most decorated players of all time when it comes to WNBA. Well deserved, and she needs to get her flowers and her roses because she is one of the greatest to ever play in the WNBA. She's an icon. They may need to retire her jersey, this period, for the WNBA, not just for the team, but the WNBA, because she is super, super awesome. And I look forward to her becoming a owner or a coach or a GM pretty soon in the WNBA, because I think her presence in the WNBA is going to mean a whole lot more because of her influence that she's had. So I look forward to her retirement. I look forward to her being a part of the league continuously. So shout out to Diana Taurasi. You are one of the greats.
Red.
Yeah, I got to give it to Miss Taurasi. Just looking at your resume, sweetie, you've done it all. And I'm going to bring a special shout out because I believe this was her and Kobe Bryant had a special relationship. I think this was one of Kobe's favorite lady players, and Kobe was one of her favorite male players. So I can understand. I mean, they both played 20 seasons. They both left a tremendous impact on the league. I mean, multiple time All-Star, over a decade worth of All-Star appearances, at least 3 championships, MVP like my guy, 2 finals MVP like my guy. Like I say, multiple All NBA first teams, multiple NBA scoring titles. Like I say, Diana Taurasi, and the fact that I know who she is means she's definitely been doing this for a long time. Definitely was a great player at UConn. Definitely was a great player for the Phoenix Mercury. And like I say, she's just going to go down as one of the all-time great basketball players, male or female. And we'll be watching her induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame in the next 3 or 4 years. So good job, Diana. You have definitely made your mark in basketball. Salute.
Coach said one of the toughest ladies in WNBA history, and I know why you love her so, Red. I know why you commented so on her, because she was at one point known as the White Mama.
Now, so see, that's why they got their comparison. That's it.
Right, exactly. There you go. All right, on to the next subject. Matthew Stafford stays in LA as a Ram. Is this a good or bad move for the LA Rams? Red, you're up first. Go.
I guess it's a good move. I mean, it would. Now that I think about it, it might be a good move because I don't know who the Rams were gonna pick up had they lost Stafford. I was hearing Rodgers. I was hearing Sam Darnold. I don't know. Did McVay want to go on the Sam Darnold train? Did he really want to deal with Aaron Rodgers drama? I mean, personally, for McVay's state of mind, this might be the best move. I mean, you and Stafford work okay together. He got you to the playoffs last year. You probably got a chance to make another playoff run with you this year. Until you find a suitable replacement, McVay, you probably need to keep Matthew Stafford around. So I say it's a good move because I don't know who they would have replaced him with. So good move. Bad move for the team that wanted him though.
Hope.
I think this was a familiar move in a good way, and a familiar move that you didn't have to deal with possibly Aaron Rodgers in LA. So, and it also shows loyalty that, okay, you took us to the promised land, got us a Super Bowl. So let's go ahead and commit to you and let's try this thing one more year, or let's commit to you and see where it goes. So I think it was more of a familiar move. You won't have to have a quarterback to learn the offensive system. You've already lost a lot of coaches from your staff. So yeah, let's get familiar. Let's stay familiar with what we got. So yeah, good move in that way, but a more of a familiar move than anything, I would say. So maybe you can keep Cooper Kupp now.
All right, we'll see. On to the next topic.
Oh,
Is the NFL Combine a waste of time for top prospects? Oh, we're back on you. Go with it.
Waste of time, I would say, yeah, because if you're a top prospect, if you go to the combines, they actually looking for things that you cannot do. They're looking for all flaws in that case. So I would say, yeah, it is a waste of time for those who are top prospects in that case. For those who are not top prospects, then yeah, they go into the combines looking for something that you can help them with. So I would say, yeah, if you're a top 5, top 10 pick, then yeah, don't put yourself on blast by going and they'll find something wrong somewhere, somehow. So yeah, I would stay away from that if I'm a top prospect.
Red, what says you?
I agree with Horace. Maybe I probably was coming from a different angle because a lot of the top prospects are deciding not to even participate during the combine weekend. Now, Horace, I wasn't really thinking about what you said just now about it's probably a good idea that they shouldn't because a lot of folks are just looking for reasons not to take them high. So, yeah, that's another reason. I mean, one reason is they're not participating, and a lot of them are waiting for the pro days. And another reason is why risk room? I mean, making your stock drop. So I understand that part of it too. But for the players who need to get themselves on the map, who probably are not on people's draft board, I think is a good reason you should participate in the combine. I think a lot of HBCU players should participate in the combine just to get you. If you're not on teams board or map right now or already, it's a good way to get on the map. But for the prospects that are already there, yeah, don't do nothing that's gonna take yourself off the map. So I agree. If you're already a top prospect, remain a top prospect.
Coach disagrees with you. He says, no, it is not. Show him what you're working with. All right. So we'll see. Last 1 and 5 for 5. I'm going to show a picture. And then I want to know if it drives your thoughts. So Shador, is he more help or headache to an NFL franchise? This is a picture of him addressing the media during the NFL Combine. And hold on for a second. I have the picture. Hold on for a second. Nevertheless, go with it. Is he more headache or help? Because for some reason it's not on here, but go with it.
Who's up? Red or me?
No, it's on you.
I would say it depends on the team that he goes to. If he goes to a team that is very quiet and laid back and reserved, then it'll be a headache. If he goes to a team that is loud and and brass, then it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good thing. You fit right into what they do. So I would say it depends on the team that he actually goes to. That's going to determine that. So I think right now it's a wait and see. Once we see the team that he actually goes to, then we can probably revisit that.
I think it's a battle of two teams right here. If he goes to the Giants are that laid back team that Horace was talking about. That may hurt him. If he goes to the Raiders are that loud team that Horace was talking about. That's gonna help him. Because you see what I'm saying? Hey, out there in Vegas, you got Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's dealt with young Russell Wilson before. Young Shedeur Sanders ain't gonna be no thing. You got Pete Carroll's putting together a cool coaching staff. So I think the Raiders will help Shedeur. The Giants might hurt him, even though he had Malik Neighbors there. The Giants are still that quiet, laid-back organization that Horace was talking about. And Shedeur might be a little too brash and big for them. So and I'm trying to think what other team is up there that's thinking about taking them. But for right now, because we'll probably revisit this, I'll stick with Raiders will help them, Giants will hurt them, and I need to see the other teams that's thinking about taking them.
Yeah.
We got a couple of comments, or one from Coach. He says he agrees with Hope.
Yeah.
My take when it comes to Shedeur. I want to take about 1 minute, and then we're going to transition to close the show. I think he's more headache. It don't matter who team he goes to. And the reason why I say that is Shedeur is very entitled. I'm mad that I couldn't get that picture up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to do it another. No, it ain't that. It's how he was like dressed at the combine. And excuse me, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up. Give me 1 quick second.
Go ahead, take time.
Because I think this is the context.
You got me interested in what he had on now.
Hold on. Oh, it's the wrong one. All right. And he had the regular stuff on, but just want you to look at it. And I'm not trying to be this, grumpy old man or anything, but I want y'all to look at this. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, there it is. I see it. Iced out, hat to the back. Now, here's the question. If his name was Shedeur Brown, would he be dressed like that?
Shedeur, you got to keep in mind, dude, this is a job interview, man. So, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem I have. He thinks he's his daddy.
Yeah.
Like Deion was a generational talent. Is Shedeur good? Yes. Do any of us think he's a can't miss prospect in the NFL?
Nope.
Are we ready to say this kid is definitely on the road to the Hall of Fame barring no injury?
Mm-mm.
You can't say for sure because it depends on what team and what system he get in. So yeah, with his dad, it didn't matter. Whatever
it didn't matter who he played for. It didn't matter who he played for. And see, like the other thing is, here's where I think it's more headache. He doesn't know what it's like to be coached by somebody whose name is not Deion Sanders.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. And I was thinking about that. How is he gonna react to a new coach? Yeah. Now the thing about it, Rev, I'm thinking, has Deion been thinking about this? Because Deion might be a little non-self-aware of the situation he's about to put his son in. You see, I understand. Now he did a good job bringing him up, but Deion eventually You got to take the tricycle wheels off. You're gonna have to let them go, is what I'm saying. It's like if your dad was with you in all your sermons, every time you preach the sermon, your dad was sitting right there. You look back to your dad, real.
Yeah.
Eventually, you were gonna have to go to a church and look back at your dad when I be there. I'm saying you're gonna have to preach your own sermon.
Yeah, stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, Shadua, you're gonna have to play your own brand of football now. I mean, eventually without Dion back there. You've been had Dion with you, guiding you, holding your hand your whole life, and that's good because that's what a father should do. You want your fathers to prepare your kids for the real world. But I guess my question is, did he do too much preparing, or was he like too much over his shoulder? Because now he's about to enter a world where ain't no little boys allowed. You know what I'm saying? This a man.
So I think the word usage that you're tapping on is, did he shelter him?
Right.
And I think he sheltered him too much. Like he's not the first coach to ever coach his son. But I think he's the first coach on that scale that's enabled his son. Just like, I think it was last season, not this past season, but last season. During halftime, they were up on somebody. Their Instagram posts about him advertising their watch. What other player, let me make the disclaimer, besides Travis Hunter in Colorado, got away with having Instagram posts during the game advertising the merchandise that he got a nil deal for? Now what NFL coach gonna go for that? So that's why I say there's the possibility of him being more of a headache. And then Prime is naturally going to protect his son. That's all he's ever done. So if a coach goes after his son, then if Prime says something against it, that becomes national news already. Mm-hmm. What coach wants that headache?
Yeah, every time you criticize your quarterback, you don't want to have to worry about his dad. And you know his dad is probably bigger than you, so folks are going to go on with his dad. It's like, okay, I need to criticize my quarterback Shadua, but man, I don't want Dion to hit me back, because now that's going to be the story. It's going to be Dion and me going back and forth instead of the criticism I need for my young quarterback. Yeah, I mean,
and then that's how you lose the locker room. When his teammates know he might be the issue, but the coach being afraid to speak up because of what Prime might clap back on, then you lose the locker room because you're showing clear-cut favoritism for a guy because you're afraid of what his father might say and how that national news might not make you look good to everybody. So that's why I say it's more headache. If I could.
Oh, no. Rev, I'm seeing exactly what you're saying. And honestly, I've thought about this, but I guess until you all of a sudden brought it up to the forefront, now it's a way for us to really, really think about this. I've thought about this probably minor, like what's Shadua gonna do when he leaves Deion Sanders and what's gonna happen with the team. But now that you're bringing it up, we really need to think about this, because this might be, because you're right. He's already got an entitled mind. And an entitled mind, it has you to think you're better than you probably really are going into a certain situation. Now, like I say, you are going into a man's league now. Eventually, reality will set in. However good you think you are, you're going to find out how good you are when you get in the NFL, buddy. And when reality sets in, are you going to be man enough, Shadua, to handle this? Are you going to be man enough to handle opposition, adversity? Because you've rarely had to handle it because you've been up under your father's thumb throughout your entire playing career. Whenever there was an issue, Dion pretty much said, spoke on it. Yeah. You didn't really have to do too much working it out because Dion was going to work it out for you. Now you entering a man's league, man. You're going to have to work out your own problems. If there's an issue with the coach, you and the coach are going to have to communicate. I mean, like you say, the shelterism, the entitlement, that's not going to work out now because you're entering the man's league, men in the locker room. People are going to have their opinions on the situation. And if you come in there and you're not playing good ball, and you're not willing to do what you need to play good ball, if you're not the first one in, the last one out, if you hanging out in the parking lot with your nice car, blasting your music and doing stuff that don't have nothing to do with us winning football games, like I say, I just hope Shedeur and Dion are very self-aware of what his next situation and next step in his career is about to be. That's all we need.
All right, last word from you, bro. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, Red said shelterism, and I'm not sure if that's a word, but I like it. I like it. One thing we did not bring up, to your point, Rev, was the hate that he would get because of his entitlement in the locker room.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You think these grown men are going to be dealing with your driving up in the Rolls Royce and showing off your watch collection and things of that nature when you're just a rookie?
Yep.
And that's why it is important to the team that he actually goes to, because some locker rooms could protect him because of who his father is.
Yeah.
Some locker rooms don't care who his father is, because I wasn't even born when Dion was playing, so I don't care and I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
But, a veteran locker room could possibly help this young man, and a younger locker room could probably ruin him because of the things that you had mentioned. So, it is a lot to talk about and a lot to go around, but I think it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had and revisited.
Good points, man.
When we find out the team that draft them, that's when we're going to really talk about it, or at least the teams that have a radar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen, let's close this show on out. Who has the right to do what, when, where, and how? Red, you normally lead us off, so who has the right to do what, when, where, how? Or how?
All right, Lakers, y'all been following you had the right so far, and you're undefeated this week, and you had the right to make it 4-0 against the same team you just played Friday when we play them again tomorrow. But you're going to Inglewood, so you're going to a new spot. So still, I expect LeBron, Luka, expect my big three to show up, expect my defenders to be ready, and I expect the Lakers to go on to get this 6th straight win, baby, because we are hot, and I want to stay hot. Lakers, you got the right to stay hot and keep red, like Rev said earlier, on this cloud 9 that he's been on ever since, I want to say, we started this little hot streak. And man, I'm still mad about that game we lost to Philly when Braun was playing in the first quarter. That killed it right there, man. We could have been like on an 8-game winning streak if JJ didn't put that clown out there in the first quarter. That was one game we shouldn't have lost right there.
Yeah, he was being blatantly disrespectful to the Sixers, putting Bronny in the first quarter for sure. Who has the right to do what, when, where, or how?
All right. Well, first of all, no disrespect to Coach, but I hope you get well. I'm about to talk about my Duke Blue Devils, so if you're on air, close your ear. Duke Blue Devils, John Shire, you have the right to go ahead and finish off the season on the uptick and on the upbeat. I know we're going through a couple of injuries right now, but you have the right to make sure that we go into March doing exactly what we've been doing to the ACC and taking that all the way into the Final Four and showing Coach K that it is your team now and not his, and I'm not using no more of your players, but show them how Duke do their thing by next weekend completing the sweep on the UNC Tar Heels and going into the tournament on a high note and go all the way to the Final Four, and let's get our number 6 ring and let's go.
All right. I'm sure if Coach heard that, he is probably having some issues right about now.
All right, now, I think y'all better not choke it up for me, because I'm probably going to take y'all a break.
I have something for those Pink Devils. All right, let me close this thing on out. Hubert Davis, the coach of Coach's team. You have the right, even though I don't watch hardly any college men's basketball, even though I watch more women's college basketball than men's college basketball, but you have the right to justify beginning this season in tournament play while you were granted a contract extension by the Tar Heels when even many folk in Tar Heel Nation wanted this to be your last season. So prove them wrong, brother, and live up to the extension. All right.
You got an extension? Wow.
You got an extension. Yes, he did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Red Rev Sports Show, episode 366. Horace from the Sports Roundtable, thanks so much for joining your boys on today. Everybody check out the Sports Roundtable on Facebook Wednesday night at 7 o'clock with Horace as your host. Red, happy belated birthday. I don't know if you have any more birthday shenanigans, but if you do, please be safe and make good decisions. And everybody else, peace and love. Enjoy your sports weekend. We'll be back, same Facebook page, same YouTube channel at the same time, 11 o'clock next week. And big ups to Coach. We're praying for you, man. Get back, get well. We look forward to having you soon. Peace and love, everybody. We're out of here.